Okay, so you just had a panel around courage. Is courage, does it always pay off?
Well, you're asking the wrong person because for me, sometimes it gets me in a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
But in the end, I think it's worked out okay.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you have to be bold and you have to take a chance and you have to put your neck out there.
Yeah, and always.
All in all, it works out.
And do you think when it comes to being courageous, is there anything that scares you?
Yeah, actually what scares me the most right now is the divisive nature of our environment and how I think the division among humans, and that's even beyond our industry, could quite possibly become the kryptonite that defeats our superpower of collaboration. We talked on a lot of our different panels about what differentiates us is that not just willingness, but that drive to collaborate. And if we let that divisive nature that's just growing and growing and growing in society right now take over that desire and drive to collaborate, we're going to be fucked, Brandi. Sorry.
It is. It's true. Well, and I think that's something we talked about in D.C., right? Like that things are so extreme now that I'll have people around me get on their soapbox or do these things. And I've honestly given up even trying to fight some of those battles because, just go do you, right? And so what do you think is the most courageous thing you do on the regular as a leader?
Show up every day as my true authentic self and am 100% transparent. My team knows I have their back no matter what. My team knows who I am, where I stand, what I believe in. And you can bet your ass if I'm pissed off at you, you know it. But that's okay. We work through it, right? Yeah. It's about that open transparency and that mutual admiration and respect and just leading with kindness and love.
Right. Yeah. And I think that there are different, it's good to have people that are supporters and lovers along the way too, right?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's okay having, what do they call it when you're on a skydive and you're connected to somebody?
The tandem jump.
The tandem, right? It's okay sometimes having a tandem.
I'll jump with you anytime. You jump, I jump.
See, it's nice having a Barb around, isn't it? When it comes to leadership, though, we've talked a lot throughout the day. I mean, you come from the strategic services side. Mm-hmm. You work with a lot of different organizations. Mm-hmm. Are all organizations similar in that approach, or are you finding leaders kind of taking a nap?
I find a lot of leaders taking a nap, and I find a lot of leaders buying into the divisive narrative that goes on around us. And my challenge to people everywhere, not just in this room, but across our industry, is to stop doing that and to ground yourself in why we're here and what makes us different and special, and to leverage that. And it really, Scott talked about what pisses him off. That pisses me off. That really pisses me off because they're overriding our superpower. And it's super frustrating because without that, we really are no better than banks.
Does it make you nervous with this industry? You've been in the industry a long time.
I've been in the industry for almost 30 years, and it does make me nervous because I think that could be a real challenge for us long term if we can't figure out how to get past that. And it's not just, Tom's going to smile when I say this, it's league against league. You can't sell in my states because those are my credit unions. It's credit union against credit union. It's fintech against fintech. And the one thing I say to everybody I talk to is they're our credit unions. They're not your credit unions or my credit unions. They're all our credit unions. And we are blessed to be called to serve in this industry. And when we come together and serve in a way that's meaningful in the lives, not only of those credit unions and their employees, but of their members, that's where we win.
Yeah. I think great. Amber brought up a really good question earlier, and we didn't necessarily kind of answer it as much as we could, right? But around structure. So often I think that maybe are we chasing a banking structure because that's what we look like, or are we trying to reinvent the credit structure to meet the member need? I mean, is there courage and innovation and things that can be happening more in that realm?
I think there's courage in reminding ourselves that we're here to serve our members. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, every single one of us in this room, regardless of whether you work for a credit union, for a fintech, for a league, for an organization that serves any of the aforementioned organizations, we are all here with the sole purpose to improve the financial lives of the members of all of our credit unions collectively. And sometimes we need to hit each other over the head to remind ourselves of that.
Yeah. And because we have so many many things happening. It's also remembering to what Ronaldo was reminding us of earlier of listening.
Yes.
Sometimes, right?
Yes.
I think that Barb, by the way, will text me periodically and impact me so much in her texts that I can't text back. Like, I'm like,
I did notice that you didn't answer my last text. I didn't call you out on it, but I did notice.
Oh, I saw it. But I almost need because you can't thumbs up it because we all know what that means, right? But you can't heart it because I wasn't ready to heart it, but I can't respond to it. We almost need I'm going to BRB on that message there, Barb, because you have a tremendous impact on people. And I think that, but it's about listening too,
yes. And
right?
and creating a village. So I do a lot of discussions and training around leadership, and part of it is building and investing in your own village and just leading with love.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as simple as reaching out and saying, "Hey, Brandi, I'm holding you accountable to what you told me you were going to do. Are we good there?" Or something like that. Or
sure. You tell everybody that it was me not being accountable.
Or, hey, credit unions that I work with in strategic planning, hey, you had a membership goal of X when we left the planning process. Where are you? It's the end of the first quarter. How are you doing? Is there something I can do to help you? Like, it's just letting the folks around you know that they have your unwavering support.
Yeah. And I think it's moving from things being a cliche to things actually being a strategy, right? Because we will all say until we're blue in the face, it needs to be all about the member.
Yeah.
But what are we actually doing and acting to behave like that, right?
I agree.
I was having a conversation with some friends the other day about sometimes I just let things go, right?
Like those text messages?
Oh, now I'm in trouble. I got myself in trouble by offering that one up. But no, it's talking about just letting things go. They're like, oh, well, you should have done this and you should have said this and and having kind of that competitive action. Well, with that, I said, what, sometimes it's not worth it. Just honestly, just letting things go.
Don't sweat the small
because I
stuff,
know
right?
that if that strategy were to change today, that I've given it the focus on the member. I've given it the love that it deserved. I've given it, where my goal is. Yeah. So we have to be able to act on whatever our member needs are.
And I threw that question in for our panel about prioritization because it's hard to say no. It takes a lot of courage to be able to say no because as humans, especially humans in this industry, we're wired to say yes. We're wired to please. We're wired to make everything better. Yeah. And sometimes in order to do that, you have to be able to say no and prioritize and understand that maybe you can get to that, but your energy has to be spent maybe somewhere else for a short time where it can be more focused. My team, I have this saying, we can't continue to try to boil the ocean. And I know that's a common saying, but I live by that every day because when we try to do too much and serve too many masters, we're not going to accomplish anything. Right.
Final challenge. Mm-hmm. Can you offer it to look everyone in the eye and challenge them like you have me in front of the room?
So I have a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson that I actually captured because I don't want to screw it up. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. So my challenge for everybody in this room is to, 1, show up every day and be unapologetically authentic. Number 2, lead with love and kindness. We talked a little bit about that. Treat others the way you wish to be treated. Number 3, kick ass and blaze your own effing trail. Right?
Let's give Barb a round of applause.